Right, right. So let's talk about your official debut album, Live from the First. Like, what was so? Is your thought process different when doing an EP like Diamond Mine in comparison to your full length album? Like, is it similar, or is it like that you put more emphasis on like story structure for your album?
Yeah, I think Diamond Mine was more so like an art exhibit. You walk in and like there's different pieces, different themes, right? But it's
Yeah.
all like tied maybe in like spatially, or just the way that you're moving from art piece to art piece. I think that's what Diamond Mine was kind of. It was like a collection of ideas and thoughts in an intrinsic way. And Live from the First, I would say it was a different process because like I'm taking you through a journey on Live from the First of my story. So it's basically my story, but it's like my story doesn't sound different from other people's story if I take my name out of the hat. You know what I mean? It's like coming from the city, maybe falling into the wrong different things, and finding my way from the darkness to the light. Basically, that was like the journey. So yeah, there was more thought in themes of certain records and transitioning from different spaces sonically and thematically.
Yeah.
And so it was definitely more of a process in terms of delivering Live from the First. That was like, that took, I bared a lot of myself on that project. So that was definitely a hell of a journey.
So how long did it take you to finish recording that album?
That album was like, I mean, the process probably started 2 years before the album dropped, in terms of like starting to record and starting that journey. Because like another process is like the features, right? Like what type of I want on this album that's gonna coexist with me in my journey and what I'm bringing to the table. And so
like characters in a movie, like it's your movie, and then who's gonna be your supporting cast on your movie.
Yeah, it was dope to have Cassidy on there. Good girl who, like I said before, working with them previously, and they were able to bless the album. That was super dope. Bree Steves, who's I believe with Atlantic Records now. She's a young, dope female rapper.
Geechee Sway is on there too, right?
Sway, that's like Camp Low, you know what I mean? Lucchini, to have that energy. Because I'm from that, you know what I'm saying? So
that's
like,
love that group. How
from
did you link up with him?
Man, shout out to Sal Good, who also produced that record. He produced on Live from the First. He did the record with me and Geechee, and he just linked us up because I was already working with Sal, and he had produced for Geechee on a number of projects, and he was just like, "Oh, I think, you should meet Geechee. Like, you guys would be dope together." And man, he delivered a verse on there that like I don't think he took a breath. I don't think he took a breath. I don't know how he did it, but it was
that verse is so crazy. It's like
He's from the Bronx, I'm from the Heights, but that's next door neighbors. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so like understanding that New York energy and like what we were able to bring to that record, I'm grateful that I was able to rock with him. Torre.
Torre. That joint is dope. Weapon, right?
Yeah. Obviously, my man Phil and Kim is on that as well. But just a few. Shout out to Twismatic who produce Rocks right now and just set the tone for certain records. So it was like a great journey and a collection of people on that album that I respected and connected with and understood like life from their own perspective, you know, in a way that reflected beautifully on the project. So that was cool.
Yeah, you got Cassidy on the joint too.
Yeah. Cassidy, that was dope because we actually did that record like right after he was on Hot 97. You know, he went on Hot 9 with Funk Flex Bit, and then he was like, yo, going to the lab, came through, and that night he did that joint. So like that was pretty cool to have him on the album as well. Because like I said, I was spending a lot of time in Philly. I'm from New York, but you know, just being
in Philly one time, right?
Yeah. So like I was there for about a year or so, you know what I'm saying? But just being able to tell a story, like my story is just not like from my block. It's like so many of us, wherever we are in the world, like or regionally, whatever the case may be, like there's similar things that we can kind of have a common ground to share our experiences on. And I try to provide through my music that common ground for artists to be free with their creativity, their self, and tell all of our story.